I'd like you guys to join me at your mat. And I'm just gonna shake it off because I'm a bit nervous. And you can have your blocks around and just come down to a comfortable seated position. And let's just start to take a few moments to connect with our breath. Okay, so closing the eyes and just taking a few moments to connect with the breath. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Taking another deep breath in here, filling up the belly, the ribs, filling up the chest, and hold the breath in just for a moment. And slowly exhale, emptying the belly, the ribs and the chest. And one more time, big breath in, filling up the belly, the ribs expanding through your chest. Holding the breath in for a moment. And when you can't hold it any longer, taking a big exhale, big sigh out. And from here, we're gonna open the eyes and slowly spread reach your arms over your head. So reaching the arms really high, spread the fingers really wide. We're just gonna bring some more movement, some energy into the fingers. So spread the fingers really, really wide, and slowly we're gonna turn the hands to close the hands, making fists with your palms. So we're gonna close the hands, bringing the stretch into the top of the wrist. And as I inhale, you're gonna reach your palms to face up. And exhale, closing the hands, making fists with your hands. Your palms are facing down, stretching the top of the wrist. And one more time, opening the fingers really wide. And exhale, closing the hands, making fists with your hands. Just really feeling that in your forearms. And slowly shaking everything out. Shake it all out. And from here, so if you're sitting down, you're gonna bring one knee in front of you, the left knee in front of you, right knee to the back. And we're just gonna make two 90-degree angles with the knees. You can bring your hands at your heart. And let's start to bring some mobility into our hips. So lift your knees up and you can lower them down to the other side. And just doing that a few times to bring some opening into the hip. If it's too much for you, you can always bring your hands behind your hips. So let's just do that a few times. Making sure you're breathing. And you can always challenge yourself by bringing your hands in front of you, making sure that your knees are at a 90-degree angle. Making sure you're still breathing. And very nice. Let's come into a tabletop position. So making sure that the hands are directly underneath your shoulders. Your knees are directly underneath your hips. Spread the fingers very wide. Making sure that the index finger is pointing forward. So the index finger is pointing forward, and you want to make sure that you're pressing this part of your hand down. So using your hasta bandha, engaging the hands. Press the hands firmly. We're going to be using this a lot in our arm balances. From here, we're going to inhale, coming into a cow spine. Lift the hips, opening the chest. And as you exhale, let's tuck the lower back, and then the middle back, and then the upper back. And then bring your chin in. One more time. Inhale, lifting the hips. And exhale, rounding everything. One more time, inhale, lifting the hips, curving your spine, opening your heart, and exhale, rounding through the middle, the upper back, really protracting your shoulders, spread your shoulders really wide. Slowly come back into a neutral position. And from here, we're gonna just take a big circle around the wrists, circling through your body, just taking big circles. Spreading the fingers wide, circling through the wrists, going in both directions. Making sure you're still breathing. And lower onto your heels and just shake your hands out. Slowly come back into your tabletop, index finger pointing forward. And from here, let's lift the knees 2 centimeters off the ground, finding this curve in your spine. And slowly lift your hips high, coming into your first downward facing dog. Making sure that the feet are as wide as the hips. Wrapping the triceps over your head, making sure your feet are parallel to each other. So everyone is in a downward facing dog. Deep breath here. And from here, we're going to inhale, reach the right leg high. Bend your right knee, open your right hip, bring your right hip over your left hip. Taking a big stretch through the hips here. Making sure you're still breathing. And slowly, can you take a big circle with your right leg? Circling through. Just bringing more mobility into your hips, breathing into it, taking the circle in both directions and slowly lower down. Inhale, left leg lifts up high. Exhale, bend the left knee, open your left hip, and take a big circle with the left hip in both directions, making sure you're still breathing. Your weight is equally distributed onto both hands. Breathing, and let's slowly lower that left foot down. Spreading the fingers wide, and from here we're going to slowly walk the feet behind the heels, behind the wrists, and bend your knees slightly as you grab onto your 2 elbows and let your head be really heavy. You can sway from side to side. Just take another deep breath. Let your head be heavy, knees are slightly bent. And slowly release the hands. Let's rise all the way up, coming into your Tadasana mountain pose. Taking a big circle with the shoulders. And from here, we're going to open the feet as wide as your mat. So feet are as wide as the mat. And let's turn the feet to point outside. So it's like I'm in a squat position. The feet are turning outside slightly. And we're going to bring the hands at the heart. So we're not in a normal position. The feet are slightly wide. From here, we're going to inhale, reach the arms up high. And as you exhale, we're going to come down into a squat. So lower the hips down, bend the knees. Finding this engagement into your knees. Making sure that the knees are turning towards the toes. Slowly bring your hands at your heart and lower the hips down just a little bit more. Inhale, let's rise all the way up. Exhale, bending the knees, hugging the core into the spine. Engaging your glutes, engaging your quads. Inhale, lift high. Very nice. Exhale, we're going to lower all the way down, this time coming into our Malasana Yogi Squat. If this is too much for you, you can bring your blocks underneath your hips, sitting right here. Otherwise, we're in a Yogi Squat. If it's still too early for you, please use your blocks. We'll have other chances to do this. So pressing the triceps into the knees, and at the same time, we're pressing the knees into the triceps. Inhale, lengthening the spine. Exhale, bring your hands down. Turn your feet to point forward and lift the hips high, coming into a wide forward fold. Your feet are parallel to each other, knees are slightly bent. Inhale, lengthen your spine, coming onto the fingertips, look forward. And exhale, bring both hands down, press your knuckles down using the Hasta Bandha. Step both legs back, coming into your plank. And if you've got your block, I'd like you to bring your blocks underneath your torso here. So you're just going to bring the blocks underneath you, come into a plank position. From here, squeezing the glutes, we're going to lean all the way forward and hug your elbows in. So your elbows are squeezing towards each other, and we're going to bend the elbows, and you're just going to land your torso onto the mat, coming into your chaturanga. This is the foundation of all arm balances. So your blocks are underneath you. Just take a moment to get acquainted with this pose. From here, we're going to inhale, lift the chest high, coming into your upward facing dog. Shoulders are lowering away from the ears. And tuck your toes under, coming back into a downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths in your downward facing dog. From here, you can bring the blocks to the side. Let's inhale, reach the right leg high. Exhale, bend the right knee, open your right hip. You can bend your left knee slightly, taking a big circle with the right hip one more time. And slowly we're going to bring the right knee to the right elbow as you come into a plank. Right knee connects to the right elbow. Inhale, reach the right leg high, 3-legged down dog. Exhale, step your right foot outside of your right hand, coming into a lizard pose. Inhale, opening the chest. You can come onto your fingertips here. Lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, we're going to push your heel down as you lift your hips high, straightening through the right leg. Coming into forward fold, Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose. Deep breath here. One more time, we're going to inhale, come into a lizard, open the chest, open the heart, and exhale, forward fold. One more time, inhale, lift the chest high, and bring both hands back underneath your shoulders, press the knuckles down, step the left leg forward, coming into your yogi squat malasana. Triceps pressing outside into the knees. Making sure that the feet are turning outward. You can still use your blocks underneath your hips. And from here, we're going to inhale, rise all the way up. Bringing your feet to point forward. Reach your arms high, taking a slight back bend here. And exhale, lowering all the way back down. Forward fold. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, lower the hips down, coming back into your Malasana Yogi Squat. Opening the feet so that they're pointing outwards. Press the triceps into the knees, lengthen your spine. Exhale, bring both hands underneath your shoulders. Let's close the legs in, come back into your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. And let's slowly step both legs back, coming into your plank position. From here, we're going to lean the weight forward. If you'd like, you can bring the blocks underneath your torso to support you in your chaturanga. You can also lower your knees, okay? So we're going to lean the weight forward, hug the elbows in, and just chill right here on the block. Just take a moment to get used to this pose. From there, we're going to inhale, lift the chest up, upward facing dog, and tuck your toes under, come back into a downward facing dog. Taking 3 deep breaths. Making sure the feet are as wide as your hips. From here, we're going to inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale, bend the left knee. Taking a big circle with your left hip. Making sure that the breath is really flowing into your hip. And let's circle the other way. Inhale, reach the left leg high. Exhale, bring the left knee to your left elbow. Inhale, 3-legged down dog. Exhale, step the left foot outside of the left hand, coming into your lizard. Bringing the fingertips underneath you. Inhale, lift the chest high. Making sure that the back heel is really over the toes. And from there, we're going to slowly press your front heel down. Lift your hips high, straightening through the left leg. forward fold, pyramid pose. Toes are lifting high. Inhale, lizard pose as you open the chest. Exhale, coming back into your pyramid pose. Forward fold. Very nice. From here, inhale, lifting the chest high. And slowly bring both hands to press down firmly and step your right leg to the front. Lower the hips down, coming back into Malasana, Yogi Squat. Inhale, lift the chest high. Triceps press into the knees. And exhale, bring both hands underneath you. Let's lift the hips high, closing your feet in. Inhale, rising all the way up. Opening the chest, opening the heart. Reaching your fingertips high. Exhale, bring your palms back to your heart. Very nice. Inhale, let's reach the arms high. We're going to go through that one more time. Exhale, forward fold. Feet are pointing forward. Bending the knees slightly. Inhale, lengthen your spine, flat back. Exhale, open the feet to turn out. Lower your hips, coming into your yogi squat. Deep breath here. And slowly we're going to bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Lift the hips high. Come back into your forward fold. From here, we're going to step both legs back. Coming into your plank position. Lean your whole body weight forward. Just going to lean forward. Hug the elbows into the ribs. Chaturanga as you bend the elbows. This is your foundation for all arm balances. Inhale, lift the chest high. Opening your heart. And exhale. Tuck your toes under. Come back into a downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths in your downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts high. Exhale, bend the right knee, open the right hip. Slowly, can you bring your right knee to your right elbow, tiger crow. Press the knuckles down. Inhale, right leg lifts high. Exhale, step the right foot forward, coming into your lizard. Inhale, opening the chest. And exhale, send the hips back, straightening through the front leg. Press your heel down, forward fold. Inhale, opening the chest. And press your hands down. Let's step both legs forward. Yogi squat. Inhale, lift the chest high. Press your knees into your triceps. Exhale, bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Lift the hips high, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, we're going to lower all the way back down, forward fold. Knees are slightly bent. Inhale, lengthen the spine, look forward. And we're slowly going to open the feet, come back into your Malasana Yogi Squat. This is great for opening through the hips, just preparing your body for our sequence today. Slowly bring the hands back underneath you. Lift the hips high, bring your feet in, and step both legs back. Step into your plank position. You can bring your blocks underneath your torso. Just use this as a chance to practice your chaturanga. So we're gonna lean the weight forward, hug the elbows into the ribs. Chilling here for just a moment, take a breath. Inhale, lift the chest high. And exhale, come back into a downward facing dog. Taking a moment to breathe in your downward facing dog. I'm just gonna check if anyone has any questions. Deep breath in your downward facing dog. Slowly inhale, left leg lifts up high, 3-legged down dog. Exhale, bend the left knee, open the left hip. Breathe into it. Slowly, can you bring your left knee to your left elbow into your plank, tiger crow here. Inhale, left leg lifts high. Exhale, bring the left knee to your bring the left foot to your left hand, opening the chest, coming into your lizard. You can come onto the fingertips, making sure that the back heel is lifting high. And slowly we're gonna press the heel down, straighten the left leg, forward fold. Finding this opening in the hamstring. Inhale, lift the chest high, come back into your lizard, opening the chest here, and slowly we're gonna step the right leg outside of the right hand. Lower the hips down, coming into your Yogi Squat Malasana. Taking a breath here, making sure that the spine is long. And exhale, bring the hands back underneath you. Close the feet, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Hands are reaching up high, shoulders are lifting up to your ears, and bring the hands back to the heart. Making sure that now we're gonna close the feet. Feet are as wide as the hips. From here, can you step the left leg back? So we're gonna come into a wide-legged stance. And bend your knees slightly, bring your hands at your hips. Find a slight opening in your chest. We're just gonna open the chest slightly, bending the knees, and slowly exhale, inhale, lift up, and as you exhale, we're gonna forward fold. So you're gonna see how long the spine is. From here, can you bring your hands underneath the shoulders and start to straighten through the legs. By straightening the legs, we're really bringing more engagement into the thighs. Deep breath here. Inhale as you lengthen the spine, and as you exhale, we're going to forward fold. If you'd like to go even deeper, you can bring your hands to the back. Walking your hands back. Otherwise, you're right here, pressing the knuckles into the ground. With every inhale, we're going to lengthen more, and with every exhale, we're going to forward fold. Finding more opening into the back of your thighs. Slowly bring your hands back at your hips. Let's rise all the way up. And from here, we're going to open the right foot so that it's pointing towards the front. And bend the right knee. Come into a warrior two. Bringing your hands at your hips. Inhale as you reach your arms to the side, keep your gaze at your right hand. Finding this opening in the inner thigh, your front knee is going the same direction as your big toe. Coming into your warrior two, back heel is rooted into the earth. Slowly bring your right hand inside of your right foot and reach your left arm over your head. You can also bring your block right here, coming into your extended side angle. Just taking a deep breath here, allowing this to open through your hips. So you can be pressing the hand down to the earth or use your block. Bring your elbow onto the knee. And let's slowly rise all the way back up, warrior two. Close your right foot, bring your hand at your hip. And let's take it to the other side. So left heel opens, bend the left knee, and reach your arms out. Keep your gaze strong on your left hand, making sure that the knee and the second big toe are pointing straight forward. Finding an opening in the inner thigh. Deep breath. Slowly bring the left hand inside of the left foot and reach your right arm over your head. So we're going to sweep it down and up, your palm is facing down. And you can also use a block, just making sure that there's a long line going through your toes all the way up to your fingertips. One more deep breath here. And slowly release your block. Let's rise all the way back to the top, bringing your feet together and step to the front. And from here, we're going to slowly lift the heels high and start to lower all the way to the ground. So we're going to lift the heels, bend your knees, and lower all the way down. And see how slowly you can go here and slowly start to bring your hips down. Can you connect your triceps to your knees? Making this connection, spreading the fingers really wide. And slowly lower the hips all the way down. We're going to lie down on our backs. Reach the arms over your head. Take a big breath as you reach everything away. So reaching the arms up, reaching the feet forward. And slowly we're going to lift high as you bend the knees. Bring your triceps to your knees. So this is basically your crow pose. Rounding the upper back. And inhale, we're going to reach the hands back, lower all the way down. Taking a big breath here, and exhale, we're gonna crunch, bring the knees into the triceps, rounding your shoulders, protracting them, spreading the fingers wide. Finding that your core is hugging into your spine. One more deep breath here. And slowly rise, lower all the way back down. Let's do that one more time. Slowly rise up, bend the knees, bring your triceps into the knees. Can you hug them even closer? So if you're here, that's totally fine. If you're here, that's fine. You can bring them on your elbows. Just try to bring them as high as you can onto your arms. Spread the fingers wide, really engage your core. One more deep breath here, guys. We're almost there. And slowly we're gonna lower all the way down and just relax, shake it out, and hug your knees into your chest. Let's rise up, cross your legs, bring your hands underneath your shoulders, and step back into your plank position. Leaning your whole body weight forward, hug the elbows into the ribs, and inhale, coming into an upward facing dog. This is just taking a moment to stretch your front core muscles here, and tuck your toes under, come back into a downward facing dog. Deep breath. Taking 2 more deep breaths here. And from there, we're gonna slowly open the feet as wide as the mat and walk your hands back. And lower your hips down so that you can come back into your Malasana Yogi Squat. So from here, this is where we're gonna take it into our first arm balance, Bakasana Crow Pose. So I'm gonna give you lots of options. So if you've got a few blocks with you, you can, so first of all, if you have never tried this, you can also bring like a cushion in front of you so that if you're scared of falling, you're just gonna fall onto the cushion. That's totally fine. Yeah? Otherwise, we're gonna bring the blocks behind us and bring the triceps into the knees and spread the fingers really wide, making sure you press the knuckle into the ground. And from there, we're gonna start to round the back. So just like we were doing in our little crunches, we're gonna round the back, lift the hips really high. And from there, you can step onto your block. So this is gonna help you have more length, have a bit more space. So option 1, you're on the block. And from there, you're gonna just lift one foot high and lift the other foot high. Okay, this is option 1, just alternating between one foot and the other foot. Okay, option 2, we will bring the knees on top of the triceps. So rather than bringing the knees outside of the triceps, you bring your knees on top of your triceps. And bring your hands underneath your shoulders. And from there, we're gonna keep leaning forward. So one thing you wanna remember is that the more you lean forward, the lighter your feet will get. That way you can start to lift one foot and then lift the other foot. Yeah? So we're just gonna alternate without the block in option 2. And maybe that's enough for you today. And if you wanna go more, we're gonna spread the fingers really wide, round the upper back, hug your core into your spine. Really find that you're rounding everything and keep looking forward, keep leaning forward. One foot lifts up, and then maybe the other foot lifts up. And if you're here, you can start to bring your feet closer together. So this is gonna create a pushing with your knees into your triceps. So 3 things to remember is that you're really rounding your upper back, creating this ball like that. That's gonna help you really lift high. And the second thing to remember is that you're gazing forward. Your drishti, your focus is always going forward. So when you look forward, your feet become lighter. And the third thing to remember is that your hands are spread really wide. You're pressing the knuckles down. You don't want to find your knuckle lifting up. So let's try that one more time. Spread the fingers really wide. Bring your knees behind, bring your feet behind you. Bring your knees onto your triceps. And start to round the back. Lift the hips high. Keep gazing forward, forward, forward. From there, we're gonna bring one foot high. Maybe the other foot lifts high. I'm sure you guys are doing an amazing job. And if this is happening for you, can you keep bringing your feet closer together? Keep bringing your feet, your heels together, your big toes together. And making sure you're still breathing. And slowly lower down. So from there, let's all come into a child's pose. So you can bring your blocks to the side and just take a child's pose. Just take a moment to breathe. However you're feeling the beating of your heart. Nice, we're halfway there, so just taking a moment to really breathe. And let's slowly rise back up. Coming into your tabletop position. From here, we're gonna lift the knees high, come into a downward facing dog. Just taking a moment to breathe in your downward facing dog. Maybe you're finding more length in the back of your thighs. Maybe you're not, maybe the knees are slightly bent, the triceps are lengthening. From here, we're gonna slowly walk or step both feet forward, bend your knees, and bring your hands underneath your feet. So your palms are facing up. You're gonna press your toes onto your wrists, keeping a slight bend in your knees here, and just keep rocking your weight backwards and forwards to give your massage, your wrist a little massage. Yeah? So this should feel really, really nice after all that weight bearing we've been doing on our hands. Just let your head be heavy and pressing the toes into the triceps, into the wrists. Deep breath here. Slowly shaking the hands out. Let's rise all the way to the top. Reaching your arms high. Big breath as you reach up high, and exhale, bring your hands back to your heart. And from here, we're gonna bring the blocks back. So you can bring your blocks and sit in a wide-legged position. So we're gonna open the legs wide. So we're coming into a wide-legged forward fold. So if you've been doing this a lot and you're not really feeling anything, you can elevate your feet. So we're preparing for our second pose today, our Firefly, Titibasana. So you can bring your blocks, your heels on top of two blocks. And inhale, reach the arms high. And exhale, forward fold. So you should be really feeling this in your hamstrings, in the back of your thigh as we lengthen. So we've been engaging the thighs a lot, we've been engaging the hamstrings, so it's really okay to stretch them. Taking a deep breath here. And you can also have your feet down on the ground, just whatever works for you. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, one more forward fold. Making sure the spine is long. And let's slowly rise back up. Okay, keeping the same stance here, you can bring your block inside of your foot. And we're gonna start to really engage the hip flexors and the quads. So I'm going to bring one hand in front of me, one hand to the side. And this is going to be a little bit painful, but this is what we need to really activate the front of our leg. So we're going to bring both hands in front and lift your foot high, just one foot at a time. Lift one foot high and bring it inside of the block. And outside. I'm just going to do that a few times. So lifting the foot. So if you don't have a block, you can just not use the block. Just imagine there's a block there and try to lift the foot high And if you really want to challenge yourself, you can not use your hands. And let's do that 5 more times. 5. Feeling it in the quad, in the hip flexor. 4, 3, 2, and 1. That burns. And from there, let's do it the other side. So I'm going to bring the block inside of my left foot, bring both hands in front of me, and lift the left foot high, step it in, and alternate. Let's do that a few times, preparing for Titibasana. Really noticing how your quads fire up. And it is painful. Let's do it 5 more times. 4, 3, 2, 1. And bring both legs in. Let's just shake the legs out, shake everything out for a moment. Shake it all out. And so we're going to bring the block to the front. And so you're going to bring one block in each side. If you don't have a block, that's fine. You don't absolutely really need one. Otherwise, step back into a tabletop and meet me in downward facing dog as you lift your knees high. So we're in a downward facing dog. We've got 2 blocks in front of our hands. Just taking a moment to breathe, lengthening through the spine. And from here, we're gonna inhale, reach the right leg high, 3-legged down dog. Exhale, bring your right bring your right knee to your right elbow, come back into a tiger crow. Very nice. Inhale, reach the right leg high, 3-legged down dog. Oops. And exhale, bring the right foot all the way to the front, and we're gonna step the right foot on top of your block. So if that's too much for you, you can release the block. Otherwise, we're in a lizard pose with the right foot on top of your block. So this is gonna bring your knee a bit closer to your shoulder, getting used to that feeling of the knee snuggling over your shoulder. So just breathe here, finding opening in the right hip, making sure that the foot is outside of both hands. So the foot is on the side. Long spine. Deep breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. One more time. Inhale, lengthen. And if it's too much, please release the block. Come into a normal lizard pose. Exhale, release. Bring both hands back down. And let's step the right leg all the way back. Downward facing dog. And if your block moved around like mine, that's totally fine. Deep breath. And let's take it to the other side. Inhale, left leg lifts up high, 3-legged down dog. And exhale, bring your left knee to your left elbow. Can you really tuck it in? Left elbow and left knee are glued together. Inhale, reach the left leg high. And exhale, can you bring your foot on top of the block? Do whatever it takes. Yeah. And from here, we're going to bring both hands underneath the chest. Inhale, lift the chest high, making sure that that back heel is on top of your toes. Deep breath here. And again, you don't absolutely need the block, but if you're here, just see how that feels when the knee is hugging on top of your left shoulder. You can be on your fingertips. Taking another deep breath here, making sure that the spine is long. And slowly bring the hands back down and send your leg all the way back into your downward facing dog. If you'd like to take a child's pose, you can lower your knees down, lower your forehead down. Otherwise, just take another breath in your downward facing dog. One more deep breath here. And we're gonna slowly step both feet outside of the hands. Come back into your Malasana Yogi squat. And if this is just too much for you, just take a moment to shake your body out. There's no need to just continuously be here. Otherwise, when a yogi squat, you can bring your blocks behind your heels so that the blocks are behind the heels. If you don't have the blocks, that's totally fine. Just stand up. And slowly we're gonna open the feet out back into the yogi squat. Lower the hips down, and from there we're gonna start to bring the shoulders underneath the knees as you bring your hands onto the blocks. Okay? So we're in this pose, pressing the hands into the blocks, and if you don't have the blocks, you can just press your hands right behind your heel. I'm gonna do that just for anyone that doesn't have the block. You can find this arch in your fingertips, from your thumb to your index, and bring it right behind your heel. Yeah? Otherwise, we're on the block. Press the hands into the block, and slowly we're gonna start to lift the chest up. So from here, we're gonna start to lift the heels high and lift your feet up. So your feet are just gonna come together. Bringing the feet together, pressing the knuckles into the ground, bringing your feet really close. And if you're here, this is great. You're really engaging your quads, engaging your hip flexors. Taking a deep breath here. And let's slowly lower all the way down. Sit down on your block, giving your wrists a little shake. So, if you made it this far, you can continue practicing that by pressing the hands into the block, bringing the shoulders behind the knees, and lifting your heels up first, and then maybe your toes lift up, and keep your gaze forward. So just like we did in our crow pose, we're gonna keep the gaze forward and start to lift the feet together, bringing the feet together. And if this is going well for you, you're gonna start to straighten one leg and then bend it. And then straighten the other leg and then bend it. And just alternate straightening one leg and then the other. And whenever you've had enough, we're gonna release, lower the hips down onto the blocks. Just shake your hands out. Give your wrists a little fold down. And we're gonna do that one last time. And this time we're gonna try to go up with both legs. So if you're finding it still hard to lift one leg, you can just keep your knees bent and really, really lock your ankles together and keep lifting the hips with you. So we're gonna bring the blocks behind the heels and bring your hands right behind your ankles. Bend the elbows so that they're like a shelf for your thighs. And slowly lower the hips as you gaze forward, lowering the hips, gazing forward, and we're gonna slowly bring the feet together. And if this is going well, we're gonna start to straighten the legs while pushing your thighs towards each other. Making sure you're breathing here. And if this is going well, you're gonna lift the hips high and start straightening the arms. And whenever you've had enough, you can lower down onto your blocks. Just take a moment to breathe. And we have time to practice that one more time. So just take a moment to breathe. And let's do that one more time. So Come into your yogi squat. Triceps press into the knees, opening the hips. Lift your hips up and bring your hands onto your blocks. Your blocks are behind your heels. And bend the elbows so they're like shelves for your hips. And we're gonna look forward as you lift your heels first. And then lift the toes. Bring the feet together. And slowly start to maybe just raise one leg and then raise the other leg. Otherwise, lift both feet as you fly and start to internally rotate your thighs towards each other, straightening the legs. And slowly lowering down, bringing your blocks to the sides. And take another child's pose, bring your forehead down. You can bring your arms behind you to just completely relax. Noticing your quality of breathing. And there's a saying that goes, every time man makes a new experiment, he always learns more. So even if you tried today, you didn't really get there, you're always learning more. You cannot possibly learn less. So wherever you are today is just perfect. Just breathe into your child's pose. Deep breath in, expanding your lungs, and deep exhale. And let's slowly rise up. From here, we're gonna turn the palms to face you. So the palms are facing you, fingertips are turning back, and step your knees back, and just take a little bit of a stretch with your wrists. Bringing your hips back and forth, finding this stretch in the top of your wrist, leaning backwards and forwards. And if it's too much, you can just do that one arm at a time, left and then right, just giving your wrists some love and shaking your hands out completely. And from here, we're going to step back into a tabletop position. You can come onto your fingertips, step the right foot outside of the right hand, and reach your right arm forward. Keep reaching as far as you can go. And as you exhale, we're going to bring the right hand back and grab onto your ankle or your toes. As you come into a twisting thigh stretch, keep bringing your foot, pushing your foot back to open your chest. Allowing this to lengthen the quad. And slowly bring your hand back underneath your shoulder. Step the right leg back. And left foot steps outside of the left hand. Reach your left arm forward as far as you can go. And we're going to turn the left hand to the back and grab onto your ankle or your toe, finding an opening in the quad. Making sure that you're really pushing your foot so that you can open your chest, and at the same time, you're bringing your heel towards your glute, lengthening your quad, just breathing into it. Just taking a moment to stretch those thighs. We've been working really actively through this class. And let's slowly release. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. And lie down on your back for a restorative back bend. So if you've got your block, you can bring your block by your side, and we're just going to lie down on our backs. Bring the heels behind the hips, and bring your block right at the lower, between the lower back and the hip, just coming into a restorative back bend here. If you want more, if you're just feeling like you want more energy, you can always lift your hips high as you come into your bridge. Otherwise, I'm going to stay here so I can get a good night's sleep tonight. The block is underneath the part where the hips and the lower back meet. Just take a moment to enjoy that. Deep breath in, deep breath out. You can close your eyes if you'd like. Slowly release the block. Hug both knees into your chest. Roll from side to side. Just rolling backwards and forwards from side to side, and hug your right knee in as you lengthen your left leg, and slowly lower the right knee over to the left side. Reach your right arm to the side as you come into a reclined twist. Deep breath here. Keeping your gaze at your right hand, press your knee down with your left hand. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Slowly bring your right knee back in and hug both knees into your chest as you straighten the right leg. Slowly lower the left knee over to the right side. Left arm extends, coming into a twist. Deep breath in, expand through the belly, expanding the chest. Finding that you're breathing through your back. Big exhale. Slowly hugging both knees back in. Just roll from side to side. And lower the left foot. Bring your right ankle on top of your left thigh. And grab the back of your left thigh as you lift your foot high, coming into a reclined pigeon. Inhale, expand. Exhale, can you bring your knee a bit closer towards your chest? One more time, inhale, deep breath in. Exhale, going a little bit deeper. And slowly release. Lower the right foot down. Bring your left ankle on top of your right knee. Keep your left foot flexed. And lift your right foot high. Grab the back of your right thigh. You can grab the back of your shin if you'd like. And just take a moment to enjoy this opening in your left hip. Deep breath in expands you. Deep breath out. One more time, deep breath in. Deep breath out and slowly release. Hug both knees all the way into your chest. Just rolling from side to side. If you'd like to take any last few movements that just feel natural for you, if you'd like to go into a happy baby, you can do so. If you'd like to just reach your arms over your legs, going into a forward fold. Reach your legs over your... So just do any final movement that feels good for you. For me, this feels great right here. Taking another big breath, expand through the belly, the ribs, the chest, and exhale. Slowly lower the feet down. Bring your hands at your belly, closing the eyes, and start to straighten your legs. Bringing your feet as wide as possible. Bringing your arms stretched to the side. As you come into your final Savasana. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Just taking a moment to appreciate your body for everything that it can do, wherever you are. And really appreciate every joint, every muscle, every ligament, everything that's just coming together really wonderfully to help you do all these amazing things that you're capable of. Just give your body all the love that it needs. Taking another big breath in, expand through the belly, the ribs, the chest. Open your mouth and taking a big sigh out. Slowly hugging your knees into your chest. And you can stay in your Savasana for as long as you'd like. Otherwise, just stretching your whole body, reaching your arms over your head, taking a big stretch. And hug your knees into your chest. Slowly rising back up into a comfortable seat. Thank you guys, bringing your hands at your heart. Thank you for your practice. I'm sure you've done an amazing job. And it was very nice practicing with you guys. And if anyone is interested to do more classes with me, I do a lot of classes on Zoom. So you can just message me and you can join whenever you'd like. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope it was fruitful for you whatever level you're at. So just remember to have fun with it. Yes, I'm going to keep this up. It will be on my story for the next 24 hours. Thank you guys so much for being here. It really made my day. Bye.